So where did I get my accent? Well, I've travelled a lot, you see. When I was very young, my family and I spent a lot of time in Italy, partly because I had relatives there, but also because my uncle ran the local arm of the mafia, and he had it was a mansion, basically. It was nice to see him, but he was usually busy off breaking somebody's legs or chasing up some snitch or something. After that, I spent a lot of time in Tokyo, Japan. Not with the Yakuza, though. We don't have the gangs by this stage. It was always really interesting there. What made it so interesting was we didn't speak a word of the language, and my parents accidentally sold me to another family when we were there, actually. I think it was because I had this bright blonde hair when I was a little kid, and they'd never seen anything quite like it. This family turned out to be a family of cyberneticists, and they wanted to build a robot with blonde, Aryan skin, and they used me for that. And that was quite fun. Meanwhile, my parents had hired a gang of mercenaries to try and get me back. They're an interesting lot, this gang. They'd started off as a boy band, but then they hadn't got a record deal, and this was sort of a backup plan for them, I guess. So they broke into this little flat in Shibuya, trying to get me back, but they grabbed the robot instead. My parents didn't actually notice for about 7 years. After that, I found myself in Australia, Caloundra, lovely beaches. I was a sort of street performer. I did impressions of famous people's dogs, and they gave me money for it, would you believe? Then one day I fell out of a window, don't ask, but I fell onto the tour bus of MC Hammer, and naturally he took me under his wing. We travelled all around the States together. I learned a lot from Hammy. He was the one who got me interested in taxidermy originally. I met a lot of people on that trip as well. I met Madonna, Clinton, Bush, Seinfeld. I even got to meet Stan Lee. It was great. Then I joined a group of travelling acrobats, you know, for the girls. But I could never really join in with them, even though they did some of the highest kicks and flips, and they were in the Guinness Book of Records and everything. I just couldn't join in with them because I had this terrible phobia. I had a fear of leotards. So we travelled all around Europe together, and then eventually I ended up back in Newcastle, and I would imagine that affected my accent quite a lot.